another one that's going to get clipped, people. This is a thing that I hate about football fans in general. Yeah, it's the agendas. It's everyone wants to be right rather than support a manager, ask legit questions, praise and critiquing fairly, and then whatever. It's like some people just want to ridiculously back Arteta to the sake of it, where you're just being pro-positive or just any. Arteta could tell you the sky is orange and you're not disagreeing with him. That's not going to help. Equally, there's some man that didn't feel Arteta from the start, the lack of experience, ready to jump on him at any moment. I don't personally see how any of this is helpful, my dude, because it's just everybody just wants to be right. Everybody wants to just, like I said, ridiculously back Arteta because to turn around one day and say, I told you, or, negative way. Apologies for scratching my nose, people. My nose is itching. Yeah, like I said, just want to back him on a positive thing just to say, I told you so. Same way in the negative one, I told you so. He was never the man. He was never the man. For me, that's not supporting the club. Arteta is our manager. In the same way, I hated Emre in this position, but I supported him because he's the man. I can have my criticisms of Arteta. I'm not saying you can't have your criticism. I'm not saying you can't question his tactics and his decisions. He's the manager. Because the same way he's getting praised, I think he should get the same energy. That's my opinion, asking questions. But I don't think the agenda serves. If we go down months down the line and it becomes apparent that Arteta isn't learning from mistakes, isn't applying what we need him to apply to, and he isn't the man for Arsenal moving forward, then we'll revisit that and we'll clip him. Right now, I think he's deserved the right to be supported and show that he's the man to at least lead us down that change. Like I said, we revisit the position if elsewhere. Nothing else is going to be solved. People are calling him tactically inept and all of these things. He got his tactics wrong against City. He holds his hands up. He was poor. He overcomplicated things. Defensively, it was spot on. There wasn't much more going about it. He put square pegs in round holes with the Willian false nine experiment. Harsh critics will say that's not the game you should have really done that. Harsh critics will say Willian shouldn't even been on the pitch anyways. Arteta has to face the music for that. But let's not act like he hasn't outsmarted Liverpool once in the league and once in cup competition at Wembley. Like he hasn't beat City. Like he hasn't beat Chelsea. Even though we lost to Chelsea at the Emirates, you ask Chelsea fans, we had them. The players threw it away in the last 15 when Tammy scored, and I could have been Jorginho as well. I could be wrong. Man United at home. There's been several incidences Arteta has got it right, and he has done dodgy things, whether that's bringing Mustafi, go free at the back, or do booky things on the wing, and it's worked. It's not going to work all the time. It hasn't worked throughout Pep Guardiola's career, and it's not going to work for Arteta's. Just support the manager. Like I said, you don't supporting doesn't mean everything he does you don't question and you just agree with it. It doesn't mean being negative about everything. It means praising and critiquing fairly. When he's done well, we hold our hands up and say you've done well. Where you've done poorly, you've done poorly. And that should be it for the players as well. There's too much agenda stuff with the fan base, whether they're YouTubers, whether they're normal fans, whether they're people trying to get 5 minutes of fame and socially clipped incidences online. It doesn't help. Arteta deserves the support right now in October the 18th, I believe the date is, 19th, apologies. I believe Arteta's the man. If we get to somewhere like, let's say, the 19th of March, where things are not happening, we're not improving, and things I was calling for Arteta to improving, they're not improving, then I might be looking at the position differently. Or the 19th of May. Only in football is it a crime to change your opinions. Only in football is it a crime to not have a particular wayside. Why can't we just have a middle ground? Why a man got to be ridiculously pro-Arteta and ridiculously anti-Arteta? I'm pro-Arteta in that I support him. It don't mean I condone things he's done, because I don't get it. I don't understand Saliba not being involved. I agree with him because he's not been training and whatnot, but I don't get it. I don't understand the allegiance with Willian. I don't understand when he plays Joe Willock sometimes. I don't understand, regardless of Ozil's stuff, Ozil not being in the lineup as well or involved. You saw the lack of creativity. There's a lot of things Arteta does that I don't like or I don't understand, but he's the gaffer. I support him because he's shown me enough to believe in how he handles it with the individual players, how he's acted with as a collective unit. Like I said, you move forward in the future. If he shows he's not levels, he's not levels. But I don't like how the pitchforks are up. And this is football, Next week, if he beats Man United at Old Trafford or he beats Leicester or goes on a 2-game run, people are laughing, people are smiling again. The one concern I have with Arteta is he's not getting the best out of us in an attacking sense. You know, he's shown we can improve defensively. He's shown me enough defensively to say, cool, if you get one more centre half, or the longer the season goes on, we might not be perfect, but there's a dramatic improvement. You'd imagine, you know, fixing our attack is easier to do than fixing our defense. You know, we've got the players. We're not shooting enough. We're underperforming. The players have to take responsibility, but at the same time, we're not shooting enough. You know, I think where is it, people? Let me reel up the stats.